Good morning, Father. Father Knowles. What? Oh, good gods!
Emergency services, which service do you require?
Hello. Yes, police, please.
What is the nature of your emergency?
My name is Mr. John Robert Jones of Aberystwyth, and I'm calling from St. Martin's Church. I just arrived to find the vicar dead.
Have you checked to see if the individual is breathing?
His body is lying at the altar. The whole place is covered in blood.
Are you able to check if the individual is breathing?
I'm afraid not. His head is missing.
Papa Indigo Golf request immediate police on scene at St. Martin's Church, Aberystwyth. We'll send coordinates once confirmed.
We have car nearby, coordinates not required. Any request for additional officers?
Papa Indigo Golf, witness report of one individual deceased at the scene.
Officers will lock down the scene and hold the witness. Advised. Forensic team will follow up from Carmarthen.
Crime scene team advised. Individual reported by witness as decapitated.
It's December 2023. My name is Dan Troutman. I just turned 50. I'm a journalist, maverick, and some would say a rogue. I've worked for the broadsheets and the red tops and have been forced to leave offices in London, Manchester, Birmingham and Cardiff. I've become the proverbial Roman gypsy Hackett. That is until I found myself in the small Welsh coastal town of Aberystwyth. Getting a job on the local rag was no problem, despite the muddied references that only a few old editors would give. I found a room with a crappy view and a bedsit that didn't work, where I set up my emergency services scanner before I unpacked my toothbrush. A couple of weeks of covering misspent council funds and the shock horror of a recently released convicted sexual predator living amongst the locals was seriously making me doubt my almost involuntary decision to settle at the end of the line bloody backstop that I found myself in. I mean, I thought I was a bit old-fashioned back in the city, but Jesus, these guys were decades behind. I was bored, so I ate, drank, and smoked too much. It had started a show. Then, one grey and drizzly afternoon, the scanner buzzed. Not in the usual mundane checking in, domestic at, suspected cardiac arrest that way. No, it really buzzed in a priest's body discovered at the altar at St. Martin's Church way. A headline already written, and the beginning of a story that, if not true, you'd never believe.
Okay, Mr. Robert Jones. That's fine for now. The sergeant has made a cup of tea for you over there.
Oh, thank you very much.
But I will ask you to come down to the station soon to make a formal statement, if you feel up to it.
Yes, of course. No problem at all, Detective. Thank you.
Mr. Robert Jones, isn't it?
Yes?
Hi. I've just got to verify a couple of facts, if that's all right.
Well, I was going to have a cup of tea and a bit of a sit down.
That's fine, no problem. I'll come with you. It will only take a minute.
Very well.
Now, can you just run through what you saw when you arrived this morning?
Oh.
Last time, promise. That's great, Mr. Robert Jones. I think I've got all I need for now. Would you like me to get you another cuppa?
No, thank you. I'm fine.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go over there and talk to the detective. But we'll talk again, yes?
Anything I can do to help. The vicar was a good man. He will be greatly missed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fancy being a priest around these parts at the moment. What is that now, Sergeant? 3 in the past year?
3 what, detective?
Who the hell are you?
Darren Troutman, Aberystwyth Inquisitor.
Troutman? Never heard of you. How did you get in here?
I'm new. Are you referring to 3 murders, Detective?
It's Detective Inspector Hughes. Oh, well, you'll soon find out from your editor, I suppose, who, incidentally, is a golfing partner of mine.
Ooh.
I hope you're not going to give me any trouble, Troutman.
Me? Never.
Right. Sergeant, fill him in, will you? Just for facts, mind. I've got better things to do with my time than report to the bloody press.
So, you're from
Especially
out of
ones
town then?
who don't seem to
Yep.
know anything about
I moved
assault
here.
weapons.
Lucky me. So, the murders.
Firstly, they're incidents, not murders.
Not murders yet, huh?
Probably not murders at all.
Oh, ongoing then.
This one is the 3rd this year, and we had 4 last year.
7 murders in 2 years. Quite a lot for a little town like this.
Well, only this one has been in Aberystwyth itself. The others were in surrounding villages.
Any link between the victims, Sergeant?
Well, not apart from the obvious. Despite what people may think, they tend to live a fairly hedonistic lifestyle, you know. Smoking, drinking, eating all that cake, and the majority were getting on a bit.
The majority of what?
Oh, I assumed you knew. All the victims were priests.
So, someone was chopping up the clergy, picking off the priests, victimising the vicars. So, what you doing after work, Sergeant?
Definitely not you, if that's what you're getting at.
There you go. The locals are not only behind the times, they're frigid with it. Detective Hughes and his entourage prepared to leave the crime scene with Mr. Robert Jones catching a ride. I think I'll go along and wait. They won't keep him too much longer at the station, and I have something else to ask our mild-mannered friend of the church, who just seems too squeaky clean to be true. Ah, there he is. About bloody time, too. Mr. Robert Jones! Hop in! I'll give you a lift out.
Thank you very much.
Now look, Mr. Robert Jones, I know you've had a hard day of it, but I want to be straight with you.
Call me John, please.
Alright, John, I've good reason to believe that you are currently police chief suspect.
What?
Yeah, not just for this murder, but for the others as well.
What others?
There's 6 other priests, all in the vicinity.
It's nothing to do with me. I know nothing about it.
I know that, and you know that. But the police, well...
Detective Hughes said nothing of any suspicion on my part.
Well, they wouldn't, would they? Probably didn't want to spook you, John.
You say they? I thought you were with the police yourself.
Oh, didn't I introduce myself at the church? Sorry, John. I'm Darren Troutman, Aberystwyth Inquisitor.
The press? Oh no, I don't want to get involved with...
Calm down, John. Nothing's going to print. Yet. I just want to make sure you'll be alright if the police suddenly decide to charge you. Can't stand things like that. Does me head in.
Charge me?
And if they do, then I'll have the other side of the story, right? To get the public on your side. Look, John, both me and the police know you're hiding something, so here's your chance to tell me your story, and when the time's right, I can defend you in the press. I shut my mouth, let him think it over until we got to his place. A block of flats at the bottom of a great big bloody hill that you see on all the postcards around town. Honestly, come to Aberystwyth and marvel at our big bloody hill.
I'd like some time to think about it. Talk to my carrier daughter first, Mod.
Oh, I don't know, John. I mean, these guys, they don't mess about. They could be banging in your back door come dawn if they think you've got something to do with it. Did you know these days 60% of convictions for murder turn out to be the geezer or gazette who found the body?
Really?
Straight up, John. Now look, I've got a nice bottle of scotch in the boot. What say we have a couple of small ones at your place and you could tell me all about it?
No, I don't, really. And I'm very tired.
Banging on your door tomorrow morning, John. It might not happen, but then again it might. And all I'd have to report is what the police tell me. Capiche?
Very well. I'll tell you our story. But we'll do it here, in the car, if you don't mind. Will you need a pen? I have one in my jacket.
No thanks, John. I'll use my phone. John goes on to tell me how he and his daughter established themselves in Aberystwyth just after Christmas 3 years ago in 2020. He sold his vintage car to the same local garage that towed it out of a ditch he'd crashed into in a snowstorm.
Charming fellow. He was a vintage car enthusiast, as it happens. He gave me a lot of money for it. Said he'd never seen one in such a good condition before.
The money had enabled the couple to stay at a B&B on the prom for the first 6 months of 2021.
We tried to get paid work, but it proved impossible. We never experienced the technology everyone was so accustomed to.
And why was that, John?
We lived our whole lives as my forefathers did, in isolation. We were completely self-sufficient, providing for ourselves at a very remote farmhouse in the hills near the village of Bethlehem, 40 miles or so to the south. Our home burnt down to the ground Christmas Eve, leaving us both destitute.
I sensed another lie. You get a nose for lies in this business, and mine was proven to be one of the best. John went on to say that after the money from the car sale had run out, the father and daughter combi spent a very cold night at the train station, not knowing what to do next.
It was then, in the early hours of the morning, that a train carrying refugees from Eastern Europe arrived at the station. My daughter had the insight to join the back of the group. She had been watching news of a war in their country unfolding on the TV in the B&B, and as we looked similar, wrapped in blankets to keep us out of the cold, it proved to be a very good idea. She's a very clever girl, you know, very clever, Todd.
Isn't that what all fathers think? I wouldn't know. Never been blessed, thank God. John explained that they were all taken to some sort of council office just outside town to be processed.
That's where my daughter first met him, Sergei. And to be fair, he and his brother and cousin helped us adopt false names and, within the time we had to wait, try and perfect an Eastern European accent. My daughter is very good, but I struggled a little, so kept my talking to a minimum.
Go on then, John. Let's hear it.
My name is Ivan. I am very glad to be here in your beautiful country.
Christ, he wasn't wrong. Sounded like one of those meerkats off of the TV ads that had a stroke. But you're both Welsh, so why not simply find assistance at the town hall or job centre even?
We simply did not know how to go about such things. Father knows that's the...
Headless priest.
Was later a great source of support to both me and my daughter Gwyneth. I've been working as a delivery driver come handyman for the church for the last 2 years. All thanks to him.
Gwyneth, that's your daughter's name?
Well, no actually. Well, yes and no. When we adopted our Eastern European pseudonyms, we were Ivan and Natalia Oksana. She later opted to use her middle name, the name of her mother, Bethan, but she now goes by Beth. More fitting for these modern times, she says.
Oh, I see.
Now look, there's one thing that's very important here. Beth must be left out of all of this. Is that understood, Troutsman?
Whoa. A bit of assertion coming through there, John. Definitely an 8 on the tension scale, I reckon. I put him at ease, telling him that I would not contact his daughter.
Thank you. That reminds me, I must inform her of the tragic event.
Here you go, John. £1 for the phone box. I'll pop by again tomorrow night, alright?
Very well.
So, I got into the boot, cracked the seal on the scotch, and had myself a little snifter before lighting a fag on my way back to the cop shop. My nose was twitching again. Everything about John's story stunk like a Christmas turkey at Easter. Obviously I lied to John about the police suspecting him, but if not, why not? And maybe my timing would be just right for that filly of a sergeant knocking off for the night. Round off the day nicely, that would. So what you think, Detective? John Robert Jones did it, right? Have you got any motive yet?
Have you been drinking, Chapman?
Mouthwash.
A statement will be issued in due course, Mr. Chapman. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Is there any physical evidence that ties him to the murder weapon? Have you looked into his history?
Now look, you of all people should know how this works. When we've got something to say, you'll be the first to know. Now, if you don't mind, I am very busy. Troutman, I'm warning you.
Just one more question, Detective. Is your sergeant still about?
What? No, she's gone home.
Oh,
To her 3 kids and ex-Marine husband with a mean streak.
righty-o then.
Now, bug off!
The next morning I woke to the sound of a text. It was from my editor, requesting I go into the office first thing. Care of a late night call from Detective Inspector Hughes, no doubt. Here we go again. Up the greasy pole, down the slippery hill. Well, that was surprising. My esteemed Commander-in-Chief not only granted me permission to continue my probe into Mr. John Robert Jones, but even released up to $5,000 for the exclusive serial rights of his story. Said it was a story very much of the Nair. He was right, of course, but then again so was I all along. If I could get John's story now, before he was convicted, then, well, be one hell of a scoop. The Vicar Killer. A book maybe, or even one of those crappy satellite channel true crime documentaries. As long as it brought in a decent retirement fund for me, who cares? While I was at the office, I thought I'd save myself some legwork and ask the editor about the other clergy corpses. He told me that over the last 3 years, priests had died, some certainly in spurious circumstances, in 6 different boroughs around Aberystwyth. The first was found dead in this chapel at a place called Clarac, the second in Bow Street, the third in Penryn Cock, the fourth in Merlin 2, the fifth in Capel Sion, the sixth in Lan Varion, and of course the latest in Aberystwyth, making a total so far of 7. Once I got back to my place, I got out the good old OS map I bought as soon as I got here. Old school, I know, but once I pinned each point of death and spun some string linking the points, there it was. A perfect 7-pointed star. I'd seen this area mapped out recently somewhere before, and I'm sure it had stickers or something in the same area of deaths. I got a hunch where to find it, so I went looking before my visit with John Robert Jones that evening.
See you soon, Father. Take care. No star.
Well, well. This must be the delightful Beth and her beau, Sergei.
Bye. Bye and good night.
What? Is that him in the car?
Whoop, heads up, here we go.
Hey, you! Are you the reporter that's been harassing my father?
I think you know the answer to that, don't you, Missy?
Don't bloody missy me, you...
Beth.
Oh. Kitty got claws.
Now you listen to me. My father is a decent, upstanding member of this community and has done nothing to deserve all of this. Questioning him. So please, just leave him alone, will you?
Believe you me, Miss Beth, I have only interest in his best interests.
I don't believe you. What's the bottle of whiskey for? My father doesn't drink.
Oh, this is just for me. Helps me focus.
Oh, you're really full of it, Troutman.
Beth,
You are so full of codswallop, Troutman.
Come on.
You are full of cowpats in a field, Troutman.
Beth, please, we must go now.
You're full of catfish on a pole, Troutman.
Come on. Beth, please, we must go now. Come on.
You leave him alone, you hear me?
Come on, Beth. Leave it.
Nighty-night. Speak to you soon. It took a while, as I thought it would, to convince John to have a drink. But after I'd shared my most recent discovery with him, all the priest's bodies were on your delivery route, John. Clarac, Bow Street, Pen Rin Cock, etc.
It's pen and cork, as in Reds. How did you come by this information?
I remembered seeing a delivery route map at St. Martin's, with the other borough chapels clearly marked out. Now if I can figure that out, it won't take the police too long to do the same. That's means, John. There's only motive and method left to find.
Oh, God help me. They are going to think I did these terrible things, aren't they?
Looks that way, John. Smoke?
No, thank you. Maybe a pipe at Christmas. I didn't do it, you know. I couldn't.
So for God's sake, let me help you. Here, have another drink. You look like you need it. So, I calmed him down and changed the subject to Beth for a while, pouring each of us another 2 very large ones in the process. You know, John, my editor's given me the go-ahead to pay you.
Pay me? What for?
For the truth, John. £5,000 for the truth. Think what Beth could achieve with that sort of cash at her disposal.
£5,000? But I don't want her involved. I don't want her involved. If I tell you our story, she will be hounded by you. Because you are paper news boy, you're a man, and I'll be gone before the new year anyway. Gone back.
John, if you agree to full disclosure, I promise I will not print a word until next year. And I'll make sure Beth is kept out of it entirely.
In that case, sir, I agree to your terms.
So, John tells me his story. A story of how he and Beth ended up not just in Aberystwyth but in 2020. It was a story of witchcraft, Satan worshipping gentry and cursed time travel. He also went on to describe how he had for the last 2 years convinced Beth to join him at the original site, just outside a village called Bethlehem.
We were camped out each Christmas Eve. It was absolutely freezing. But something inside me told me that this would be the way home. But obviously, without success. Beth had refused to go this year. She likes it here with Sergei. She has accepted her lot, so instead, hopefully we will both attend the Christmas Eve midnight mass at St. Martin's Church instead, hopefully.
You're obviously a deeply religious man, John. Don't you think that some of the aspects of your story could be inspired by your belief?
I wouldn't say deeply religious, but I do believe that we all are here, on Earth, at whatever point in time, to be good, to do good.
Very admirable, I'm sure.
The church helps me tremendously with sustaining that outlook on life. Sleep now.
As I peeled John's face from the kitchen table and helped him to the sofa, I couldn't help feeling for this guy. He had shown no hint of malice, never even raised his voice when challenged. However, John had told me a tale that was, by any stretch of the imagination, fantastical, delusional and paranoid. With that said, and is always the case, I decided to cross-reference his story with some lengthy research at the very conveniently placed National Library of Wales right here in Aberystwyth. I left John a cheap and easy-to-use mobile phone, complete with written instructions, you know, the type you could use wearing a welding glove, and had made sure my number was the only one on it.
So have you met this new priest yet?
He's not just any old priest, Beth. His name is Bishop Sol Ebenezer. He's coming up here from Cardiff to take charge of St. Martin's until a replacement priest is found in the new year. I'm hoping to meet with him later today. Oh!
Are you alright, Dad? You look a bit pale this morning.
Yes. I'm fine, my dear. Just a headache.
So nothing to do with the reporter and his bottle of whiskey turning up at your place last night, then?
No. And you?
Just a tummy ache, Dad.
That's all that foreign food you were eating. I warned you it might upset you.
Yeah, you're being silly. It's nothing to do with that.
How is Sergei anyway? Is he still a villain?
He is not, and never will be a villain, Dad.
Well, in my day, if a man profited from illegal activities, he was known as a villain or a gangster. Either way, it's not right. Tibbons?
All Sergei, his brother and cousin are doing is providing people a private space in which to indulge their leisure activities.
It's an illegal gambling den, Beth.
It's no such thing. As you well know, the shop does very well. More and more people want Eastern European foods and goods these days.
And at night?
At night, Sergei entertains his friends, who just so happen to like to gamble.
Beth, which he makes money from, which he's obviously happy to take from his so-called friends. Are you sure you're right, dear?
Yes, it'll pass in a minute. Anyway, Sergei has got plans for the shop.
He does he?
He wants to open it as a club called Dimbet.
Dimbet? What's that mean?
Well, actually, it means the House of Beth.
What?
It means...
Yes, I heard you, but don't you see, girl?
See what?
The House of Beth? Bethlehem House.
Father, what are you saying now?
You remember? Mrs. Loveley's curse.
Yeah, how could I forget that?
And hereby declare that from this day forth, you both will be made to suffer the worst times
this world will ever face, and once again be privy to the second coming of the one true Lord and Master, Satan, who will cast you down to hell where you will perish in torment for eternity. Ying tong diddle I fo.
So you think Sergei is one of them? Have you forgotten how him and his family helped us in our time of need?
Yes, that was very convenient as well.
Ugh, now you're just being ridiculous.
Where are you going? You haven't finished your latte, Beth.
I'm leaving, Father. This conversation is...
My God! What is it, love?
I don't know, but it really hurts.
Somebody, please help us! My daughter is gravely ill! Somebody!
Mr. Roxana?
Yes. How is my daughter, Doctor?
Beth's going to be just fine. She has given me permission to fill you in on her condition. She has a ruptured appendicitis, so we performed an emergency appendectomy. However, when we first scanned her, prior to the operation, we could see that she has given birth within the last 24 months or so.
Well, we don't like to talk about that.
Yes, I understand. She has told me that the child was adopted back in your country of origin, but got quite upset when asked about it. So I am going to suggest some supportive counselling to help her come to terms with it.
Oh, I don't think that is necessary.
Nevertheless, Mr. Roxana.
Very well. May I see her now?
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Doctor. Hello, love. How are you getting on?
I'm okay, Dad. I'm just a bit sore.
Yes, well.
They asked me about the baby. They said we should talk about it.
But why? That's all behind us now, love.
It's not, though, is it? He was adopted here in Aberystwyth back in 1945. He could be out there somewhere right now.
You mustn't torture yourself with these thoughts, Beth. Just concentrate on your recovery for now. Tibbodds,
He would be an old man by now. Older than you.
Hey, look what I've got.
Ouch! Where'd you get that from?
This is my very own mobile telephone.
Yes, that's great. Hey, grab mine from the table and we'll swap numbers. Will you do me a favour, Dad?
Anything, just name it.
Will you tell Sergey what happened? I've got no reception in here.
Well,
And please try to get on with him. I love you, Father, and I love Sergey too.
Oh, very well, love. But will you return the favour? When you are better, of course.
What?
Just ask Sergey a couple of questions, especially about Christmas.
Ugh, Father.
Who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. 3, 2. Our Father, who art in heaven,
that will work nicely, I think. Don't you agree? John, isn't it?
Yes, an honour to meet you, Your Holiness.
Oh, please, John, call me Bishop. I'm not the Pope. Yet.
The arrangements for Christmas Eve Mass are getting there slowly, Bishop.
Oh, what seems to be the trouble, my son?
Well, we're having a bit of trouble acquiring the livestock this year.
Well, that is of no matter, John. The only thing I'm insisting on this year is that we have the technology in place to enter as many homes across the country as possible.
Yes, well, that's not really my strong point, Bishop.
Don't worry, John. I already have the personnel for that job coming here from my own parish.
Oh, very well.
Something else is troubling you, isn't it?
I have a daughter, Beth, and she has a man friend.
And he's the one that troubles you?
Yes, greatly.
In what way? Does he treat your daughter badly?
No, it's bigger than that. I believe him to be worshipping of...
Oh dear. John, would you mind dealing with this? I'm very busy today.
Not at all, Bishop.
So it's been said many times, many ways.
Hello, I'm John.
Merry Christmas to you. Hello there. I'm Michael.
Are you seeking help, Michael? Refuge or somewhere to sleep for the night, maybe? Do you have anywhere to go, or anyone you can go to?
I have nothing. Nothing this time. It's all been taken away from me, man.
You're just a bit out of time, Michael Wilson. Things will pick up, I'm sure.
Just like you then, John. A man out of his own time is a man lost in this. I remember you. You haven't changed one little bit. You're a lucky bastard.
Sorry, Michael, but I think you've got me mistaken for someone else.
No way, matey boy. You lived in the flat next door, back in 76, after I'd just come out of the service, huh? You tried to get me to stop drinking, and you liked my collection of Nat King Cole records, remember? Unforgettable. That's what you are.
John!
Unforgettable.
Come on, my friends. I'll make a phone call and I'll try and get you into a local shelter.
It was tails, John. I lied back in 76. The coin was tails. A necessary sin, you see?
Righty-ho, come along.
I couldn't believe my findings from the National Library. Either this man, John Robert Jones, is an exceptional con man, or dare I say it, his story is, after all, true. I'm currently looking at photocopies that I obtained from original archival photographs that without a shadow of a doubt corroborate John's story. In the first, John is proudly posing with his staff outside a factory that was situated just outside of town, and the second is taken from a local paper at the time with the caption, Gwyneth Robert Jones, the first young lady from the county to attend a London university. Both these photographs were dated respectively as 1944 and 1946. This is them. It's John and Beth. No mistake. This is dynamite. National news, no problem. If John will do TV, there's a book in this, movie too, or Netflix miniseries at the very least. Come on, man. Answer the bloody thing. It's been days. It's the green button, John.
Somebody has to get the phone, yeah?
I'll get it, Sergey.
No, Beth. You shouldn't have to. There are many men here that could answer the phone, you little dog.
Hello, Dimbed Cafe and Catering Supplies.
Beth, come with me for a moment. I have something to show you.
Okay, oh?
Here, let me help you into the office. Sit, please.
What is that?
It is an old ammunition box, but inside are gifts, given to me, my brother, and my cousin, from my great-grandmother, my mother, and many aunties.
Wow, are they all made of gold?
Only the finest. These are my family jewels, if you like. Some pieces date back hundreds of years.
Sergey, they must be worth a fortune.
This is how we continue to finance our business. Dimbet. Then we will arrange for the rest of our family to join us here.
That's a beautiful sentiment, Sergey. But isn't there too many family members to accommodate for?
No, we have a plan. We always had a plan. We are very traditional in our country.
Yes, we are here too.
Ah. But our ways are not your ways.
Sergey, about Christmas...
One moment, please, Beth. We will sell all the gold pieces, except for this ring.
Oh, well, that's beautiful. Is that a real diamond?
Yes, it is my great-grandmama's, and I would like you to now wear it.
Oh, Sergey, it's too much.
Not for you, Beth. Nothing is too much for you. Here, please try it for fit.
Oh, I think it's too small. Wait, it fits on this finger.
Of course. It is meant to be. We will be married in a year from now. Yes?
Married? Well, yes, married. Mwah. Oh, God, wait till Father hears about this.
Your father is a good man. He's always looking after you, yes? Now I will do the same, and then he will know. I am good man too.
Yes. Hello, this is Mr. John Robert Jones of Abbott.
John, at last. Where the hell have you been, man?
Sorry, it's been a challenging time of late.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. I just got back from the church.
And Beth?
She'll be fine in time.
Look, would you like me to come round to your place?
No, please. I must get some rest.
Look, John, I've been delving into your story and, well, I believe you. But you will have to be honest with me and tell me everything if I'm to help you. A problem shared is a problem...
Problem halved. Yes, I know the old adage.
Well, then tell me what's going on. It's not as if I won't believe you.
Oh, well, very well. Well, as I just told you, I have come back from the church where I was surprised to see Beth. She's been in hospital, by the way.
Oh, nothing too serious, I hope.
Appendicitis. Yes, she had some disturbing news to tell me. Engaged?
Yes.
To be married?
Yes, Father. Sergei wants to meet with you, to ask you for your permission. It seems he is just as old-fashioned as you are, and he has planned an engagement party to be held on Christmas Eve at the newly named shop.
The house of Beth?
Yes.
On Christmas Eve?
Yes.
Oh.
I can see where you're going with this, John. The series of events unfolding here and the comparison to your previous Christmas Eve encounter with evil must be more than just sheer coincidence, right?
Right, but Beth can't see it, so I implored her once more to question Sergei about his intentions for the festive celebrations. I told her to suggest to him a visit to the church to celebrate Christmas Eve Mass in a holy place. She was reluctant, so I had to resort to an ultimatum. I could not possibly give this union my blessing without knowing the true spirit of the man, Beth.
Ugh, all right, but I'm not happy about it. You really do have to get over this idea that Sergei is your enemy, Father.
But you believe he is the enemy, John.
I believe that he, as well as the rest of his clan, are the second manifestation of evil. Sent to destroy normal, decent people's way of life, as promised by the hateful creature, Mrs. Loveday, at Bethlehem House nearly 3 years ago.
If that is the case, John, where did the murdered priests come into it?
That I cannot tell you as yet. However, I am convinced that come Christmas Eve, the gates of hell will once again be opened and, if not stopped, the repercussions of which will affect us all.
Be honest with me, Sergei. Do you normally celebrate Christmas on the 25th of December?
Honestly, Beth, no, we don't. But we will, as we will have done for the last couple of years. As is customary to do here in this country, we have plans of our own for the 6th day of January.
Oh, will you then consider joining my father and me at the church for midnight mass? After the party here, of course.
Oh, I don't know about that, Beth. It's not really my thing, you know.
Right.
John, I do like what you've done with the nativity scene. Very impressive. Although I was not aware the figures would be life-size. The manger is in danger of obscuring one of my mega screens if it gets any higher.
Oh, no, just the manger signed to go up now, Bishop. I must not take all the credit. The volunteers this year have truly gone above and beyond with their efforts.
Yes, there are quite a number of people around here at the moment. My technical girls and boys will have their own crew shirts, as you see. Do you think your lot will be much longer?
Well, there's the flowers and the new candles. But that shouldn't take it long if your crew needs the space.
Yes, they will. So that's all good then.
Bishop, if you don't mind, before you go,
Yes?
I believe that something is going to happen tonight. Something despicably evil.
Go on.
My daughter's man friends and his cohorts are hosting a gathering at the shop on the high streets. But I have good reason to believe the party to be a ruse, disguising the true nature of the event, which will be satanic.
And your daughter is involved with these people?
Beth will have nothing bad said about Sergei and his family. She said she would join us here for midnight mass afterwards, but I am very worried she will not be able to by then. It will be too late.
It sounds serious, John.
I hope you don't mind me asking, but would you accompany me to the shop and give me your opinion?
What? I'm sorry, John, but I'm far too busy to...
I laid out your schedule, Bishop. You have a number of hours now before your own preparation for tonight's mass.
John, if you think I'm going to use the only time I have to... Christ! It's one of your half-witted lot again, John. Be careful with that. It's new!
That's David's. He has learning disabilities, Bishop. And that sign looks far too large to be...
Yes, I had a new one made. The old painted manger sign looked like somebody had painted it with their feet.
They had.
Oh, nevertheless, I got this one printed.
Bethlehem House.
Yes. Wonderful, isn't it?
It's Christmas Eve, and I'll be honest, as the light turned even darker shades of blue, the old town had a nice little glow to it. Last minute present carriers, older people having a natter on the street, and kids with excited rosy glowing faces on their way home. Dim bet is starting to close up shop, so I thought I'd get the lowdown on this Sergei character for myself. Evening all.
Hello, sir. Please be brief as we are closing for the... Wait, you are newsman, yes?
Yeah, that's right. So Beth's father's got it into his head that you lot are going to be getting up to no good here tonight.
Sorry, I don't...
What's the lowdown, son? What you lot up to, eh?
I don't understand you. Beth!
What is it, Sergei? Oh no, not him.
He asks if we are no good tonight.
What?
That's your phone, Beth.
Oh, never mind that.
He says...
Oh, you've got some bloody nerve. Waltzing in here.
I felt I had to clarify my questioning to Beth before the new year kicked in.
How do you sleep at night?
And after Beth's initial torrent of abuse towards me, I discovered that she and Sergei had changed their plans anyway.
Changed our plans for tonight. So there. Yes. So we have moved the engagement party on to Christmas Day, where I hope to see my father in attendance to celebrate with us.
So, tonight's shenanigans...
Tonight we will both be joining my father at St. Martin's for midnight mass.
Beth, your phone.
And you're alright with that, you, Sergei?
I am look forward with it, yes.
Yes? What? I'll be right there.
Summing up?
Oh, mind your own business. Now, if you don't mind, we've got somewhere to be.
The pretty streets were empty now as I arrived back in my place. An emptiness came over me. I felt pity for John Robert Jones, a good man obviously, but also misguided and more than a bit confused, which made me doubt my own authentication of his story. Beth and Sergei were just a young couple in love. Something I can just about remember. Oh, there's that emptiness again. Yeah. Oh, hello, John. I was just thinking about you. What's that? Now look, John, have you actually got any proof this time? All right. I'll be there soon. Because I'm in the middle of something. All right, calm down. I'll get there ASAP. Actually, I might not tonight. That call's got my nose twitching big time.
Beth, you came. Oh, and Sergei. Look, I think I owe you an apology, son.
Never mind that now, Father. Where's the trouble?
There, you see? Above the manger. Bethlehem house.
They're just words, Father. It means nothing.
I think not. I have found something in the bishop's robe cupboard. Come with me to the vestry and I will show you both.
What is that?
It is, how you say, death vest. No, suicide vest?
What?
I knew it was something sinister.
Yes, these packages are full of explosions, yes.
Oh my God!
We've got to do something.
Let me get my nightgown on.
Oh no, someone's come in.
It's the bishop with one of his crew members.
Oh, hello. And what do you think you're doing in my private quarters?
We're here to stop whatever diabolical plan you have, Bishop.
Oh dear. Nick!
A gun? In a church?
Oh no, not again.
Get behind me, Beth.
What are you going to do now? Shoot us all right in here, in the vestry?
Nope. I will, however, take both of your mobile phones, please. Thank you, Nick. Fetch the vest. It's nearly time for the last sermon.
What exactly do you plan on doing? What sick justification do you have for blowing up your own congregation?
Justification? Read your Bible, my dear. The book of Revelation. Have you not seen around you and throughout this world that there is truly the end of days? The apocalypse is upon us, and only the most righteous will be allowed back to earth following God's reckoning. I have a distinct feeling that you will not be one of them.
Bishop, you're mad. Simply mad.
I believe history will prove you wrong, sir. And if I am mad, then so are my followers. 6 other priests in 6 other churches in the district will form the perfect 7-pointed star that will at midnight blaze brightly enough that God himself will see it from the heavens. See you in the next life, kids.
We're locked in.
A very clever observation.
Father!
Sorry, dear. Sorry, Sergei. Hang on.
Father, you're a genius.
He has phone?
I'm going to contact Detective Inspector Hughes.
Have you got a signal?
What for?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, Detective. It's Mr. John Robert Jones of Aberystwyth speaking. I have found myself in a situation that needs your
Sergei,
urgent
I
attention.
hope he gets to the point quickly.
The bishop here at
Yes,
St. Martin's
his point.
has an evil plan to incinerate his own
Sergei,
congregation.
do you actually understand half of what
And
I'm
is in-
saying to you at
and
any
is in
given
league with
time?
another 6 priests throughout the district
Yes.
who will do the same, all at midnight.
Give me that phone, Father. Detective, I'm putting you on speaker.
So you're seriously telling me that there are 7 suicidal priests in 7 different churches that are going to blow up their already dwindling congregation? Have you been drinking the communal wine? I mean, in God's name, Why?
It is to make martyrs of them, so they can rise again after the apocalypse. Don't you read your Bible, detective? Look, it's gone 11:30. You've got to do something.
It's all true, detective.
Very well. I'll get my part-timers in each village on it, but they won't bloody like it this time of night. On Christmas Eve too. I'll head for St. Martin's myself.
Thank you. We're locked in the vestry.
And now, we're all going to get out of here.
What do you mean?
Troutman, I contacted him earlier. He should be out there by now. I'll call him.
Why did you ring him?
He wants to help, Beth.
The only one he wants to help is himself.
Shh. Sorry. I'll turn it off.
Manafarna, he's not answering.
Look, we can go through this window. Beth, you go first. I will push you.
No, let my father go first.
No!
Peace be with you. Jesus and his disciples were standing in Jerusalem before the great temple, the dwelling place of the Lord. And Jesus says to them,
Troutman,
the day
What are you
has
doing
come
here?
that every stone of this temple
John and
will be
Beth
thrown down.
are in trouble.
What sort of
During
trouble?
the period after trials of every sort, the sun will be darkened. The moon
Come on,
will
father,
shed
pull yourself
heavenly
through.
light.
I am trying, dear. So great, push harder, man. I won't break.
I am trying hard, Mr. Jones.
You can call me John, son.
Oh, father. Yes, you've done it.
A hidden truth is going to be revealed tonight.
John's accusation makes more sense by the
Death
minute.
itself
Let's
should be
not just hang
questioned.
about here. Let's go and help
God's
them.
love
Wait,
is more
Troutman.
powerful than death.
According to John and
So we
my
can't
watch,
go on living
we're-
our lives the old way.
out of time.
You are all out of time. Lock the doors. But fear not, people.
The bishop's crew have locked the doors.
You will all return if you have God in your hearts. You will be the true inhabitants of the new heaven and earth.
Crazy bastards.
John was right. That looks like a bona fide suicide vest, all right.
Prepare for true redemption. May God bless the worthy.
Not on my watch, Bishop boy.
Troutman, no! It was confirmed at the inquiry that without a doubt, Darren Troutman had successfully decreased the impact of the explosion caused by the devices within the bishop's vest a considerable amount. By wrapping himself around the bishop at the moment of the blast, the aftermath was traumatic. There were 7 deaths and a lot of injuries. Sergei's body was found in the vestry. He died from smoke inhalation caused by the fire that followed the explosion. The bodies of Mr. John Robert Jones and his daughter Beth, as yet, have not been recovered, despite the wreckage site now being declared as cleared. Troutman had no family, so I decided to clear out his place myself, and after reading some of his notes concerning John and Beth I felt compelled to carry out my own research at the National Library Archives. I found a newspaper article, along with a black and white photograph of John being led away in handcuffs by the police. Beth was visibly upset in the background. I immediately and thoroughly questioned the authenticity that accompanied it, which was confirmed by a number of staff and eventually by the head of department. The article and photograph were unequivocally authenticated as factually correct. The caption below the photo read as follows: Mr. John Robert Jones of Aberystwyth, pictured here at the time of his arrest for murder, December 1976.
Mr. John Robert Jones was played by Ben Deans Ireland. Beth was played by Jasmine Deans Ireland. Darren Troutman was played by Richard Ireland. Bishop Sol Ebenezer and Sergey were played by Jimmy Ireland. Detective Inspector Hughes was played by Michael Ireland. Policewoman Sergeant was played by Jackie Ireland. The Doctor was played by Ira Ireland. All others were played by members of the cast. Bethlehem House 2 Out of Time was written by Richard Ireland. Production and music by Richard Ireland. John and Beth will return for the last time on Christmas Eve 2024.